Fantasy football fam, what's going on? This is Fantasy Football AF, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. If your fantasy teams suck, probably because you don't watch this show, you can still bet on NFL games at BetDSI, the #1 sports book on the internet. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. I got a fun show on tap for you guys, so let's get right on into it. First guy coming up here, are the Steelers going to trade Le'Veon Bell? Whew. Well, they haven't heard from Le'Veon yet, and this makes me nervous, and I'm already going to apologize to anybody who's listened to me in the past and said, Le'Veon, you should take him #1. And that one's kind of hurting, and anybody who took Todd Gurley is probably laughing at me right now, and I'm going to take a sip to that because I deserve it. Le'Veon, though, here's the issue. If he comes back, can we really trust him to get the full bell cow work that he was getting previously? I'm not quite sure. Now, when you look at his last 4 seasons, Le'Veon's put up unbelievable numbers. There's a reason why he was my top guy for fantasy football this year. Look at that, 406 touches last year. He's probably not going to get 406 this year, but when he's coming into the league, so since 2014, Le'Veon Bell is the #1 running back in fantasy football. He's consistent. He's been getting a ton of work, and when you just look at the Steelers' offense, Le'Veon is an absolute workhorse. Let me take a sip. But maybe Le'Veon was just a product of a system. Why do I say that? Because James Conner has stepped right on in, and now he hasn't been exactly what Le'Veon's greatness has been in the past, but James Conner right now is top 9 in the NFL in yards from scrimmage. Pretty good. He's a top 6 running back in terms of fantasy points. He's got 7 touchdowns this year. Sure, the yards per carry aren't quite what Le'Veon's been throughout his career, but I want to root for a guy like James Conner. James Conner is, if you've never seen the James Conner story, please look it up. So, ultimately, I want to ask you this because I've been getting hit up a bunch on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. How many games will Le'Veon Bell play for the Steelers this season? I wish I could look at you and give you a solid number. I can't. I thought Le'Veon was going to be back way earlier. The fact that the Steelers haven't heard anything from him. Heck, Juju did something with the mega Powerball to try to get Le'Veon Bell back. And Le'Veon replied to him, oh, I guess everybody's Kevin Hart now, huh? Le'Veon, I'm sick of your shit. I hope James Conner just runs this backfield for the rest of the season, and I hope that we find out that Le'Veon Bell is just a product of a system because I'm sick of him. Let me take a sip of my beer from DeVore. If you guys want beer from DeVore, go to DeVore.com and sign up for free. Why would you sign up for DeVore? I've been hearing that a lot. If you love craft beer, perfect time. It's the holiday season. Send a big box of beer to somebody because they're not going to be able to find these rare craft beers anywhere. And once again, sign up is 100% free, and you're going to get $10 off when you use promo code ChatSports on your very first purchase. Sounds pretty good, right? Cheers to DeVore for hooking us up with this craft beer. Next guy that could potentially be traded, that's going to impact fantasy football, it's Demaryius Thomas. DT. Now, when you're looking at the Broncos wide receiver core, Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas have been 2 pretty reliable guys over the past few seasons. Now, they haven't been as great as what they were with Peyton Manning, obviously, when Peyton threw for 55 touchdowns and then 39 the next year. Right now, though, it's kind of really frustrating because I'm watching Case Keenum be what Case Keenum's been his entire career minus last season. Reports are now, though, that the Broncos don't really plan on trading Thomas, which I can understand. He carries that $14 million salary next year. That's a big number for a team to be like, this is a guy that I want to trade for, and I get it. So the fact that that's going to happen, I really don't think that Demaryius is going to get traded. But the NFL trade deadline is October 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And if he is traded, here are the 5 teams that I think he is the most likely to be traded to. Seattle Seahawks bringing up the rear. They're at number 5. Then you're looking at the Titans, Eagles. Now, these are the 2 teams I think it's the most likely. The Redskins, but number 1 is the Miami Dolphins. So why the Miami Dolphins? Well, he put up all those great numbers with Adam Gase in Denver. Sure, Brock Osweiler and Peyton Manning may not be the same quarterback, but if he can maybe go to the Dolphins, who have a lot of turnover right now at the wide receiver position, maybe DT can step right back on in. Why do I love, though, DT maybe this week against the Chiefs? I think he's an interesting play, and I've been getting, hit up a bunch. At Twitter, MitchellRenz365, follow me there. Mitch, can I actually rely on Demaryius Thomas? It's hard to say because Demaryius Thomas has been a roller coaster ride, I'll say the last 2 seasons, and now when you have Case Keenum, it's even more of a roller coaster ride. but this is his last 4 games against the Chiefs. You know, I mean, he's already played against the Chiefs this year. He only had 24 receiving yards, 57 receiving yards, 66 and 20, but his target share is at least pretty decent. So I want to know from you. 42 receiving yards for Demaryius Thomas, Week 8 against the Chiefs. If you think he's going to have over 42, give me a heart. If you think he's going to have under 32, give me a thumbs up. For me, I'm giving my heart. And why am I going to give my heart for the over 42 receiving yards for Demaryius Thomas in Week 8? It's because when I look at the matchup, I'm looking at the matchup, and over at BetDSI, this is an over-under of 53.5 points. That's one of the highest games over-unders this week. The Chiefs, they put up points. And the Chiefs have scored over 40 points in 2 straight games. And when you see that the Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites in this game, the Broncos are going to have to keep up with a high-powered Chiefs offense. And I don't care if it's garbage points. I don't care what it is. DT is going to get targets because the Broncos are going to be down in this game. So Demaryius is going to have over 42 receiving yards and hopefully a touchdown Week 8 versus the Chiefs. If you want to actually bet on this game, go to BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/bet. You're going to use promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. I promise you it is the best deposit bonus on the internet. 120% for people who aren't good at math, for people who didn't excel in their SATs. If you put $50 down, you get $60 for free. You will not find a better promotion on the internet. Shout out to BetDSI for hooking us up with that promo. Chatsports.com/bet. Cheers to y'all. Next player that could potentially be traded before the deadline, the Raiders. Could they trade Jared Cook? I talked about this on my Raiders show. We talked about it on NFL Daily. Why would the Raiders trade Jared Cook? Well, he may be a little bit too pricey, and he is in the last year of his deal, and there aren't too many tight ends that are ultimately out there in the trading block. But why would the Raiders trade Jared Cook? Well, it is a full-on fire sale for the Oakland Raiders because they are dead last. The Raiders are dead last in the division, and I don't really think their chance of winning the division are very good. So you can see the Chiefs right there. They're sitting there at 6-1 with, minus 500 odds to win the division. Then the Chargers at 5-2 plus 300. Broncos, or the Denver Donkeys, is from what I've heard on my show, at 3,300 odds, sitting there at 3-4. And then the Raiders, 1-5 with plus 20,000 odds to win the AFC West, which is why the Raiders are saying, heck, we're just going to sell the farm. Maybe we can rebuild with Gruden since, well, we're stuck with him for the next 9 seasons. So I wanted to have a little bit of fun with y'all. What are things that are more likely to happen than the Raiders to win the division? You could get a hole-in-one playing golf. I probably will never get a hole-in-one playing golf because I am terrible, but plus 5,000 odds to get a hole-in-one in golf. Being murdered, straight up murdered. You have a better chance of being murdered than the Raiders winning the AFC West. Injury from fireworks, plus 19,556 odds. Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul is probably shaking his head, but you have a better chance of being injured by fireworks. Winning an Academy Award. You have a better chance of winning an Academy Award than the Raiders winning the division. And last, me picking up a girl tonight. Why am I so confident that I'm going to pick up a girl tonight? It's because I'm going to be wearing Mizzen+Main. And if anybody reps Mizzen+Main, guess what? You have a really good shot because these Mizzen+Main shirts look awesome. They're comfortable as F. It's literally why it's comfortable.af. And you can't sweat. And when I'm here in Dallas, it gets warm. It gets steamy a lot of the places that I go to. Mizzen+Main, thanks for hooking me up. And thanks for probably allowing me not to sleep alone tonight. Shout out to y'all. All right, where are the 5 teams that Jared Cook could end up going? Jacksonville Jaguars sitting there at 5. The Bengals at 4. They got a lot of tight end issues there with Uzomah. He plays okay once in a while, but I can't even think of his name. Eifert. Eifert's been struggling with injuries. The Seahawks. Who the heck's Russell Wilson going to throw to? The Titans are an interesting name. They've really been looking for tight end help since Delaney Walker's gone down. And then the Texans. I think the Texans are a team that definitely could use a tight end. Would love to see Jared Cook hooking up with Deshaun Watson. On the football field, of course, not, from Mizzen+Main. All right, what are Jared Cook's numbers that he's seen this season? 43 targets, 32 catches, exactly 400 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. The target share is interesting to me, and it might even go up now that Amari Cooper has been shipped off to Dallas. The 32 catches is the 4th highest among tight ends in fantasy, and Jared Cook has been a sleeper. He's one of my sleepers coming into the year, and he's really helped out a lot of people in a tight end position needy league or season. The fact that he's been that reliable, though, I want to know from you guys, okay? Over under 85 receptions for Jared Cook this season. 85 catches is what he's on pace for, and the fact that now that Marshawn Lynch is injured, probably done for the year, Amari Cooper is gonzo. Over under 85 receptions for Jared Cook this year. I want you to type O for over or type U for under. And I will see you guys hopefully next week with some more Fantasy Football AF. But until then, cheers to y'all.